Welcome back, everybody. My name's APrater54, aka Adam, coaching the Mid Park Slowpokes, and today I bring you the draft analysis for TGR singles. You heard that right. It's singles, but this time it is 6v6. It's not best of 3 4v4 singles. So we will be using the competition method for this. And we have 75 points to draft 10 to 11 Pokemon. 3 of the drafting Pokemon will be Terra Captains. And we had to stay within a 10-point budget. What happens is there's a point value for the Mon, and then there's a Terra Captain value. We have 10 points split between the 3, and we can't exceed that. We have to declare 1 stab and 1 non-stab. So this makes it a little interesting. So we're going to see how this goes. Yeah. So with this limited budget, it becomes a little tight because it goes all the way to 14 and it goes all the way down to 1. Mons like Chimpao, Dragapult, and I think Dragonite are banned because they didn't want to be too oppressive. And without further ado, that's enough description, and we are going to get into pick number 1, which was Torn T. I originally thought of doing regen when I did Torn T, but then Slowking went, so I adapted. Well, Glow King went, which is fine. So we had to adapt from there. So with this thing being incredibly fast and access to its new move that's basically 10 base power less than Hurricane and 80% accurate, I think it's Liquid Storm. That's pretty good. This is a fast pivot mon. This gets access to U-Turn, gets access to Heat Wave, Hurricane, Air Slash. I believe it lost Knockoff and Defog, but that's fine. But Torn overall is still a good mon. With its speed tier, I can use this to get momentum. And every time it swaps, it gets health back, which is amazing. So this with the heavy duty boots, controlling momentum, being able to set Sunny Day, Rain Dance for 100% accurate Hurricanes. This also gets access to Sludge Bomb too, I believe, which is really cool for being able to hit. Well, I already hit grass, but what else is weak to poison? Oh, fairies. I'll be able to hit fairies with it. Sorry, it's late when I'm recording this. But yeah, that is Torn T. Round 2. I decided to take Arcanine Hisui. This is my first time drafting this mon this gen, and Rock and Fire Stab with Rockhead is absolutely busted it on crack. This gets access to Stealth Rocks, Will-O-Wisp, Extreme Speed. It's basically Rock type Arcanine, but it also gets no recoil from Wild Charge, so it can hit water types and not face any repercussion. Granted, this thing has limited stab option physical wise, especially like grass stab, so you're limited to Solar Beam, which is special, but you're able to work around that. This gets access to Bulldoze, Play Rough, Close Combat Still, Crunch. Basically all the moves that Arcanine does, but it gets a little bit more. I didn't check to see if this thing also gets Earthquake, but I know it gets Bulldoze. But yeah, overall, this is going to be a phenomenal mon, and it 115 attack. Good lord, that's going to hit hard. But yeah, I look forward to using the Golden Doggo, and I love Arcanine. My favorite Pokemon And I feel like this thing's gonna grow on me. So let's see if I can make it work. Pick number 3, I took Hisuian Lilligant. I wanted a grass and fighting type that has chlorophyll. So I took this. This also gets defog, which is really cool for a chlorophyll mon. So I can get rid of hazards while being double speed without any repercussions. As I could be boots and be fine. This gets access to Victory Dance, which is attack, speed, and defense by 1 stage, and access to the ability Hustle, so it does not have to be chlorophyll. And I'm able to just hammer things. This also gets access to Ice Spinner, so it's able to hit flying types, which is incredibly good for a grass type. Especially at the Victory Dance. With Hustle Boost, it's able to one-shot mons like Zapdos, which is incredibly valuable. This also gets access to Axe Kick, moves like Body Slam, Coverage Galore, it can crit with Leaf Blade. I believe it gets Focus Energy as well. I'll have to double check that. I know it's either Lilligant or Arcanine that gets Focus Energy. I can't remember. It's one of the two. And if I'm wrong, shame on me. But yeah, Hisuian Lilligant going to hit hard. I don't necessarily need to have Sun, but I have offense outside of Sun with just these. I am not required to have it. Will I get boosted moves if I do set Sunny Day? Yes, because I have Heat Wave, I have Flare Blitz from Arcanine, and then I have the double speed from Lilligant. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And now, pick number 4. I had fun. I grabbed Mimikyu. And it gets to the spooky music just on time. Kinda. But Mimikyu, it's not as good as it was last gen because it had a few move nerfs. But this thing gets access to screens, gets access to Curse to half its HP and lower my opponent's HP at the end of the turn. This access to Destiny Bound Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, Trick Room. It's good utility. It even has access to Swords Dance and Shadow Sneak. So I can just spam its stab with a life orb and I can just chunk things away late game. Or I can use it to break. This being Fairy Ghosts is very interesting and I look forward to using this thing. I believe it's been a long time since I drafted this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. This gets access to Trailblaze this gen as well, so it's able to hit mons like Gastrodon without having to rely on Woodhammer, which is really good. It can boost its own speed, do a hefty chunk to the Gastrodon, and now it's a speed demon, and I can just lock into Shadow Claw instead of Shadow Sneak and have a lot of fun. And this is where the draft gets spicy. I can't have it, but I got Earthworm. It can't have Shed Tail, but Earth Eater is amazing for Arcanine. If I'm able to just hard swap out into a ground move, a well-predicted ground move, I can heal a quarter of my health, be immune, and then be able to just be incredibly fat defensive-wise and HP-wise to start setting hazards, set an iron defense, and click body press. I get spikes, rocks. I get access to, I believe, metal burst to reflect 1.5 damage back. I get access to rest, sleep talk. This thing can just be a proverbial pain in the ass. If their special attackers are dead, this just comes in and walls them. Granted, I am weak to fighting and fire. I do have Flash Fire on the Arcanine. And I have Torrentee and Mimikyu to switch in on the fighting moves. So that is really good synergy. Granted, this team would be a lot better if I'm able to have Shed Tail. but it is what it is. And that's pick number 5. And now we have pick number 6. Tachigiri. Why not get a water immunity with a Storm Drain? This is Dragon Water, gets access to Rapid Spin, which is hazard removal, so now I have 2 versions of removal. A water immunity, gets access to Dragon Dance as well with a few physical moves if I wanted to go that route. I can run Nasty Plot, Draco Meteor, Rapid Spin, and just start hammering things with Dragon Pulse as well. Or I can just spam Surf or Muddy Water, if that's legal. I haven't checked it to see if it's all accuracy lowering moves, because normally it's just 100% ones. But if not, I'll run Muddy Water. If sorry, my throat's a little dry. And if it's banned, I'll just run Surf or Hydro Pump and just hammer things. This thing's a lot more bulkier than people think it is. So with its decent typing, the only thing that I wish it had was like Swift Swim, but Storm Drain is amazing, especially in the rain matchups. Slap an Assault Vest on it, block the water types, wall the flying type and the electric type stam, and just be able to one-shot it back is amazing. And now we got pick number 7. Grafai. This mon gets access to Rain Dance, Sunny Day, Parting Shot, Toxic, Knockoff to be able to remove items. This is an item clause league, so you can only have 1 each. So having Knockoff is incredibly valuable because you can take that away. This gets access to Prankster, gets access to Burden for terrain matchups. I can run a seed, double my speed, set up a sword stance, and start hammering away. And this also gets Poison Touch. This is basically more frail Sneasler. Basically. It lacks overall offense, but it gets like acrobatics, knockoff, poison jab, gunk shot, and double edge mainly. But still, that's 2 stabs, and I wish it got like a good fighting move. Like if it got close combat, the thing would be in business, but it doesn't. But yeah, this is my support, just like Mimikyu and Orthworm are. So now we have a way to manually set the sun, along with, I believe, Mimikyu, Lilligant, well, I think Torrentee, Arcanine all can set sun, but this is priority pocket sun, and just slap a heat rock on it, and now you got 5 terms. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Alright, I'll take it. And then I took Zangoose. Why not? This gets immunity, and this gets toxic boost. If it's poisoned, my attacks do 1.5 damage, which is incredibly good, especially paired with Facade. Facade doubles if you are statused. So it is base 140, plus the normal stab, plus the toxic boost buff. Those Facades hurt. It's almost hitting just as hard as Ursaluna does, but it's fast. A lot faster than it. Being base 90 speed is really good. This mon gets access to Belly Drum as well as priority quick attack. This also gets access to Final Gambit to be a suicide lead nuke and do about the same damage as what a Selgor would coming out the gate, which I believe is 189 damage just straight to the face. If you're not a ghost type, or you're not clicking protect and your HP is lower than mine, you're just gone. It is literally anti-hazard, if I so choose, depending on what the matchup is, which is pretty good, because they'll need to be a focus sash or a ghost type or have protect to block it, which gives my opponent something to worry about. This gets access to Ice Punch, Seed Bomb, gets access to Play Rough, I believe, gets access to Double Edge, Close Combat, Brick Break to take care of hazards. Overall, it's a really good mon. There's going to be situations where I run Belly Drum. There's going to be situations where I'm just straight offensive with the Toxic Orb. And it's just going to be whatever the match dictates. And then we got Charizard. If I'm going to manually set Sun, why not run Solar Power? This was 4 points. And also eligible to be a Terra Captain. Like, a lot of my team can be a Terra Captain as long as I have a combo of 3. It was pretty hard choosing those, but we had to draft them as we go. And I will reveal them at the end. People that were in the draft know what they are already. But Charizard. This gets access to Belly Drum, Dragon Dance still, gets access to Outrage, Earthquake, Acrobatics if it has no item, access to Flare Blitz, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Inferno. Lots of covers. Even gets access to Solar Beam, I believe. Unless that lost set this gen. I could have sworn it still had it. I can check that later. If not, that's not the end of the world because we can work around that. But overall, Charizard, really good mon. Really good speed tier. I believe it's base 100. Really fits the bill for what I need, and it's another ground immunity. I can swap Arcanine into Charizard and just feel perfectly fine. Unless they click a rock move on the Arcanine, I get cooked if I bring on Charizard. That is the only downside. If they make that read, bravo. And now we got pick number 10. Raichu got taken, so I took Luxray. Why not have a Guts Mon? Why not have something with Intimidate? You see the theme here. This team is just a lot of damage. I have Toxic Boost and I have Facade boosting my attacks. Sorry. Toxic Boost and Guts boosting my attack. I have several immunities. I have lots of support. I can even go, well, I think I can go Trick Room mode. There might be enough ways to make this slow enough to do that. But this is basically all or nothing. I could either outpace my opponent or fall to Trick Room. That is it. This is a double-edged sword, and I hope it works. Granted, it excels if I can get Sun Up. At the time of hitting Grace, there was the opportunity to drop Torn T and Mimikyu for Screamtail and Torkoal, but I didn't want to go fully Sun because when I looked at the weaknesses, I literally got blown back by a couple types, and I was like, nah, I'll keep the ones I have. I believe I am only weak to Rock with this, which is really good. But with that being said, let's reveal the Terra Captains. We have Arcanine, which is Terra Grass, Terra Rock. We have Zangoose, which is normal and fairy because it lacks fairy coverage. Might as well be able to hit dragons really hard. And then we have Fire and Dragon Charizard. Dragon is to counter rain matchups and take less damage. It's also a resistance to electric moves and makes me neutral to rock type moves. Fire is just to take advantage of the sun and blow things back with a incredibly strong flamethrower or flare blitz. But yeah, the reason why I am grass on Arcanine is because mons like Gastrodon exists, Quagsire, Dondozo. I need to be able to hammer them hard. So with Terra Blast, I am able to get rid of Bulky Waters. And in Dondozo's case, I get Wild Charge on this thing without recoil. So I'll actually be able to hit Dondozo that way as well. Realistically, unless they are a steel type, there is no like switch into Rockhead. But steel types do not want to switch into fire type. So I have a triple core of coverage with Arcanine itself. I have a triple core with Charizard. And I really look forward to using this team. Hopefully you guys enjoy the draft recap. Hopefully the music's not too loud. And tell me what you think. Leave a comment below if you like the team. Or just hit the like button. Tell me if you think I'm being stupid for not getting Torko's Screamtail. I want to hear the feedback. But with that being said, everybody, enjoy your day. Later.